So right here is my Axial SCX24 Deadbolt. It's completely box stock. This is one of my first proper runs. I've tested it out a bit just on the floor and around the house, a little bit outside, but nothing quite like this. This is my, like I said, my first proper run with it. And stock wheels, stock everything, stock servo, which, well, most of you probably know is complete garbage. It's pretty quick, but so incredibly weak. No torque at all. It stalls out on almost anything. So unless you have a little forward momentum, yeah, it's not going to move the wheels at all, which is a problem, especially on this course. Well, not this first little run up to the course. This is pretty close to my house. We've set up an outdoor crawler course for small scale trucks, so 24s and 18s, basically. It's mostly small rocks with some, well, not boulders, but larger rocks. It's pretty challenging. My Mini Z 4x4 clone did it quite well. Took a couple of tries, but surprisingly well. And with some brass parts on that, it's pretty much on par with this SCX24 Deadbolt in its stock form. Did quite well, all things considered. Stock wheels are big for its scale. I think it doesn't look very scale, but they work well. They're fairly grippy. I always thought, looking at other people's videos and reading what other people's have said about those wheels, that they were going to be really kind of crappy, but I'm pleasantly surprised. They grab hold of at least these kinds of rocks pretty well. Didn't really have any huge issues. For better performance, yeah, sure, they could be bigger, they could be stickier, softer, but all in all, not bad. The biggest issue that I found was the servo motor. It's a bit quick. You can turn down the speed on the controller, but that only limits the voltage, so you have to push the trigger a bit further to get it to move. It'll move slower for sure, but a better motor, higher turn motor, it's probably a good idea. So this one right here looks pretty easy, but getting it off without having the car tumble and fall, tougher than I expected. First part of the course with all the rocks, fairly simple. And this rock here is, as you can see, really steep. I was afraid it was going to tip over. No issues at all. Goes up there, even with those, compared to the upgrade wheels, tires, small and light wheels, but they're plenty grippy. So this is a transition from one large rock to another. Doesn't look as bad as it is. It's really angled, so you kind of do quite a bit of side hilling as well as crawling over those rocks. And the entrance is pretty steep, as well as the exit. Another transition. This one's quite a bit easier. It's a large flat rock, kind of steep. As you can see, it wanted to tip over forward, but didn't. Then this transition is kind of tricky. It's a really steep rock you have to get over, and then down to the bridge of, I don't know, doom. It's we found some rusted metal, iron. It's bent. It's probably from a plow or something like that from fields they used back in the day. Worked quite well as a bridge. Bridged that gap pretty neatly. Not quite wide enough for the truck, so there we go with a stick instead. So neat little bridge. It's really off camber, as you can see, so kind of have to keep the car up straight. It's gonna be at quite a sideways angle, as you can see in this clip right here, but it does it. Want it to tip forward, as you see right there. It's got the rear wheel up, and that's quite the side hill angle, but it made it. Stock form. I'm not gonna say it made it every attempt, but got over there more than a few times. Over to this rock, where the transition is at a pretty steep angle. Got bound up the wheels quite a bit. So, and this is the tough part. Getting over here, not too difficult. It's a fairly large flat rock, but this large rock at the end looks almost like a small little mountain with lots of ledges, and yeah, got up there a few times. Not this time. Hit the ground at a bit of an angle, and what happens? Dog bone got bound up. Tried to get it loose, but it was stuck. Give it a bit of wiggle, and all of a sudden the Deadbolt was 3-wheel drive. And I gotta tell you, that makes quite the difference, and not in a good way. So I tried finishing the course, but as you can see, the front left wheel is not moving. Well, it's moving, but it's not under any power at all. It's just there. So the next time you see this truck, it's going to be upgraded quite a bit. CVDs, some weight, links, motor, servo, all of it. Yeah, it's hopefully going to make a difference. So until next time, enjoy these little bloopers, I guess you could call them. Not every try went quite the way I wanted it to, but yeah, hopefully next video it's gonna do way better. So until then, have a great day.